The Loose Reproductive Justice think tank holds monthly skill shares, and they're very informal and very laid back, and it ends up looking like a Saturday morning often at someone's house. So say Kenya's house, myself, right? And so we'll make food. Different people agree to bring champagne or mimosas. Other people bring breakfast burritos or whatever. And then really kind of just taking a place in a living room or a backyard or wherever, and people just talking. There's usually some sort of agenda, some short agenda items and some longer ones, but really dedicating time to doing a skill share. So we've had skill shares on media justice. We've had skill shares on kind of what an abortion actually is and what is the procedure, right? We've had, transgender justice 101s and stuff like that. And so we have those skill shares that we really focus on having every person who's a part of the think tank really take something on.
Well, I see Loose fitting into the reproductive justice movement as a think tank, in that, not that we have to be like, policy people or do think tank things in a traditional kind of way, but think tank in terms of being a place where, good thinking can take place.
Loose and the work this does is such an important catalyst for things that are happening in the reproductive justice movement right now, especially Loose's focus on autonomy and fluid sexuality. I think those are two things right now in the reproductive justice movement as a whole that are really, really important. And I think it's so important to have an organization that is doing reproductive justice work from the viewpoint of people of color. And as someone who's white identified, I feel like that's something that's really important to support, because it shouldn't be a movement that's specifically led by white middle class folks. Everyone should have a voice.
Where I see Loose going is the space that is dedicated to young, queer, trans, and women of color, and our allies. I really see it as a space where we share skills and we put our skills we've learned to test, to the back to the community. I see it as a space that continues to be informal, that continues to be organic and raw, where people can bring their whole selves. I would hate to see that part of Loose really go. I would love to see the Loose Reproductive Justice think tank evolve into a model that folks around the country and around the world can use, right? In cultures where there's such a mixture of experiences and values, I would love to see it in.
I think I've just learned a lot, just from being in a space with other people with different perspectives, and just, being humbled and in awe of the people around me and how much they've done.
It's a place where I've felt like I didn't have to leave any piece of my identity at the door. I could be a mom, I could be queer, I could be genderqueer, I could be Latina and white. All these different things were really possible to be all in one room.
And so to have this space where we're coming together around this common issue, this common goal to realize reproductive justice for our communities, but we're also there to kind of help each other realize reproductive justice in our lives and in ourselves. That is what, to me, has made Loose so sacred.
Loose has given me very tangible reasons to continue to believe and to hope that new ways are different, and that we do not have to continue to live by the systems or the rules or the relationships that we've been handed. I think it's interesting that we've sort of been handed the consequences of big systems and big oppression and things, racism and the isms, and we suffer the consequences of those things in our individual relationships. And so at the same time that we reject those things and figure out what it means to resist, it also seems in Luce that we are figuring out what something different will look like. And that's an amazing piece of my hope for moving forward in this work. I believe we have to have something besides resistance. We have to have something new and something to replace the structures that we are throwing out.
Rise and shine, wiping the crust out my shut eyes, but the vibe wasn't exactly right at first. I sighed, thinking of why it was as I discussed the kind of frustration within myself. As far as I can tell, my mind can dwell in a different realm. Is this for real? Or is reality in perspective quick as I inhale? My sense for now is more